Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pivotal Leadership. If you're joining this program, you either are a leader right now or you aspire to be one, and this program is for you. So let's talk about what's really going on out there in the world today, the world of leadership, the world of organizations, the world of business. There's a dire need for people who can lead businesses into the next level, who can take the businesses where they are right now, deal with the challenges that they're being faced with, technological challenges, people challenges, organizational challenges, process challenges, changes that are existing, not only in business, but politically, economically, around the world, to be able to deal with them very, very effectively. The big challenge is that people, when they become leaders, aren't given a manual where people say, okay, this is what's expected of you now as a leader. This is what high performance would look like as a leader. And these are some things you could start to do immediately today to demonstrate your leadership capabilities and competencies. Doesn't happen. There are a lot of courses out there that you can go to that'll talk about how do you become a manager, what does it take to manage organizations, but the leadership piece is unclear. Enter Pivotal Leadership, because this is the gap that we want to fill for you. We want to show you exactly what's expected of the leader, give you some tools, techniques that you can use as a leader to demonstrate your leadership. And at the end of this process, we want you to be able to literally be seen as among the best of the leaders in your organization. That's our outcome that we have for you. We believe in you. We know that if you join this program, very high standards that you're going to have to follow to get through this, but we know you can step up. We know you will. And we know that at the end of this program, if you listen to the work that we've put together for you and actually do the work, apply the work, you too will be seen as one of among the best leaders in your particular organization. So let's get started. Let me show you a little bit about what to expect as we go through this orientation package and the program itself. So the first step is that we want to really define what it means to be a pivotal leader. What is pivotal leadership? What does it mean? Why is it important to you? Why should you pay attention? From there, we want to talk about our 7-step process, which we call a roadmap to success. It's a process that we're going to walk you through during this program, but also a process that you could repeat because all of this information is going to be open to you. You can come back to it anytime. And once you go through it the first time, when you go back through the second time, you're going to go through a lot faster, the next time faster yet, until you integrate this into the way you lead. It becomes a part of the way you do business. Very, very powerful for you. Um, then we want to talk in this segment about so what's really expected of leaders. How do leaders measure up? How are other people going to measure you as a leader? What does that look like? Very important for you to know right up front before we even begin this journey. From there, we want to talk about your particular pivot point, what brought you to this program, what would you like to focus on, and we're going to end this by talking about you going through some activities that help you start to identify the leader within. Have to tell you, we are all leaders in our own way. But what is it about you that makes you unique and different and special and just magnificent in every way as a leader? Where is that for you? Where should you be putting your effort and your energy and your leadership to really have you stand out for the sake of your organization? So let's begin. Let's take a look at this phrase, pivotal leadership. And to break it down, let's look at the word pivotal. This is of dramatic importance, crucial importance is the definition. So it's crucial to the success of someone or something. Someone being you, something being your organization. So pivotal right now, huge pivot point for you. Leadership is defined as leading other people. Now, you can be a formal leader where you've given a title and you've given some power to lead, or you could be an informal leader where people just naturally turn to you in times of crisis for help. And when you think about it at the end of the day, what a leader really does is a leader is someone who helps others achieve what they are inspired to achieve. So you're, as a leader, helping other people achieve what's most important to them. We're going to show you how to do that in this program. Now, to begin with, let's take a look at the word management because it's really crucial. All of you are on this program and you've demonstrated management capabilities. Think about it. If you're an outstanding manager or even an individual performer, the people above you are looking at this and they're going, we need to make that person a leader in this organization. They're doing so well individually or managing small groups of people. Now we need to give them more breadth, more responsibilities as a leader. So, well, what got you here? Well, if you take a look at it, it was things about focusing on results and bringing stability to the organization and directing and controlling other people and very transactional. Being able to get the transactions done and getting them done right, being right about getting the transactions done. People look to you as to how do I do this? And you would tell them you're managing them in the process. But when you take a look at the word leadership, you can see that all of these expectations change. Do you still need to be a manager on some level? Of course you do. Um, but there are other things that are expected of you now as a leader. It's about enlisting other people, not commanding and demanding them, but enlisting them for their reasons into your cause, what you're trying to achieve. It's about being more proactive, about setting directions. Think about strategic thinking. You're going to see how important and crucial that is to a leadership persona. It's about achievement, but it's more importantly about doing what's right. Not doing it right, but doing what's right, given the much broader perspective of what a leader has to look at. Now, let's talk about the 7-step process that we're going to walk you through. This is just going to be a high level overview, but we want you to see what's coming. So at the very first step of the process is the prepare stage. Now, when we go through these and we stop on prepare, we're going to go rather deeply. So if you could picture that you're on a journey and you came to a little town and there's some things that you want to explore at that town, that's what you're going to do at each one of these steps. You're going to get a chance to see all of the things that you can explore and perhaps go deeper into some of them if you so choose. This is totally up to you. So the first step is to prepare for the journey. You'd never just jump in a car and go on a journey somewhere or jump on a plane without at first getting prepared, knowing what to expect as you get there, um, knowing what you're going to encounter along the way, what you want to take with you, those kind of things, very, very important. Prepare. You have to prepare first. The second thing you want to do then is to discover. And this step is around self-discovery. It's really going to help you identify the leader within each one of you. Very, very crucial. So you know what you can rely on from yourself and what you might need to change or tune or adapt about yourself to really show up like the leader that you really want to be. From there, we move into the refine. And the refine is right now you might have 1,000 ideas of what you want to focus on this during this program. We want you to refine that down to one specific area of focus for you. If you do that, first time you go through it, it's going to seem mechanical. Has to when you're learning anything. You have to do it mechanically. But every time you go through, it's going to become easier and easier and easier with different areas of focus. Very, very powerful for you. From there, we want to talk about align. So if you're a leader and you've refined what you've done, now you need to align the organization around those kind of things. How do you get people to want to work for your cause, but for their own reasons? How do you align the people around you to lead and to carry the organization forward in a way that you've identified for them? So it's your perspective on how to move to the next level. It's what they're looking for from you. From there, you now have the plan, but you have to deploy the plan. You have the people in place. They're ready to go. But you have to deploy it now. You need to take some action. So what does that look like as a leader? How does a leader act? What do they pay attention to? How do they keep control of what's going on? How do they begin to measure success? All of that comes up in this particular step, step number 5, deploy. From there, as you know, when you're deploying your plan, things never go as they originally intend. Always something is different. So what we want you to do is use this step to say, let's take a look back and let's see what we did, what we might need to tune or adjust as we go forward, because it's going to be very important to us. And as you do that, it leads to step 7, which is integrate. You're going to be learning along each one of these steps, and now's the time where it all comes together for you. You get a chance now in the integrate step to go back over the program and say, so now what do I want to make mine? What do I want to carry away from this program to be the best leader I can possibly be and to be seen as among the best leaders in my whole organization? What does that look like now? So that's our 7-step process. And all of those 7 steps will lead to the success. We guarantee that it's going to lead to success for you. Money back guarantee, by the way. If you follow these steps and if you do the homework at the end of each one of these steps, very crucial. So let's talk about what's expected by leaders. And it's kind of interesting because in January of 2014, there was a study done by University of North Carolina, and it's the Kenan Flagler Business School there. And they were taking a look at leaders because this is an issue that's endemic across the world right now, finding the right kind of leaders that can lead organizations into the future. So when they were taking a look at this and they were studying this, they were saying, well, what do organizations need out of their leader? What are the number 1, 2, 3, 4 needs that organizations are looking for? And take a look at this chart. Above and beyond everything else, it's the need for organizations to grow their business, not to stay flat, but to take a look at what they're doing right now and take their whole business to the next level. So that mindset of growth is crucial for leaders to have. And if they're going to grow their business, look at number 2. It's all around being able to respond to competitive pressures. Not only to meet those competitive pressures, but perhaps to leapfrog them. And you could see the other things that organizations are now looking for. This is like their intent, their vision for what they want to achieve down the road. But what's really important is if that's what they're looking for and they take a look at their current talent, their talent in leadership roles fall into 3 different positions. About 35% of the leaders in existing organizations are good to go. In other words, this study said that when people look at who they have, they go, about 35% of our people, they're not only good for what we need today, but they're good for what we need out into the future as well. Here's what's interesting. About 47% of the leaders in organizations today, when the organizations evaluate them, they say, they may be really good for what we were doing in the past and what we're doing today, but they don't have the right stuff to get us to where we want to be. 47%. Think about that. And there's another 18% that are bubble people. So when they look at the leaders in their organization, they go, well, we're not sure. Are they in the 35% that are good to go? Or are they in the people that we don't think, hey, they're someplace in the middle? Well, here's our promise to you. If you are in the 47% or the 18% where you're not meeting current expectations, go through this program, do the exercises in this program, make it yours, own it, and you too will move into that 35%. See, our goal is to expand that 35% for organizations, to make it bigger than 50%. And for the people who don't fall there, to give them what they need to be able to move into that category. That's what pivotal leadership is all about. Now, let's take a look at if you look at this drive for talent, what are some of the things that people are looking for and judging on what they see in their organization to say, here's somebody who could be a leader? Number 1 is having a strategic view, not a tactical view, not an on the ground view, that's for managers, but the zoom out strategic view of an organization. It's crucial to them. And then number 2 is the drive to get results. Now I want you to think about that. You're already doing that as a manager. Now, if you build the strategic view on top of the results, how do we get results out in time? If you can demonstrate those 2 competencies, you will be identified within that 35% of people who can lead this organization going forward. It's crucial. These are some of the things we're going to do with you in this program. Now, The next one is, so if you have leaders, how do you get into this high potential range? How do you look and say, well, these are among the best leaders that we have in our organization? Well, here's what they found. These are some of the things that become very, very important to them. Um, do they have the potential to be our leaders into the future, or are they rooted in the past? Look at number two. Um, are they able to sustain the performance in the midst of all of the changes that are going on, or are those changes causing our performance to falter? Right? So who can adapt to the environment? And then number three, are they a good culture fit for our organization? But here's what's key. Not only the culture that we have today, but the culture we may need to evolve to. Can they lead that cultural revolution if we need it? Can they lead it? Can they be on board? Can they role model the process? Those things are really important. And then when you take a look at the other things, you could start to see that they start to drop off. So if those are the three things that organizations are looking in their high pose, guess what? You can now take everything you've seen on these slides and come up with a personal scorecard for you as to what you need to be taking a look at. Rate yourself against them. Honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, where would I rate? What would I do? What would I do differently? Now's the time to be able to do that. Now, here's a huge heads up for you as a leader. You got to where you are right now because of something that you did primarily individually. So you were an individual contributor. Think about this. If you get somebody coming out of a college or university who is a natural born business developer, there isn't anybody going to take you and put you in a business development role. It's just flat out not going to happen. So what are they going to do? They're going to sit you down at a desk and have you pound data all day long, right? And so you can be the best business developer, but until you can prove your worth and your understanding of the organization, you're never going to get that chance to get in front of customers or clients. It's just the way things work. You got to earn your way. You got to get your ticket punched. A lot of different phrases that people use out there. What's really important about this, though, is that from being very task focused on what you're working on, the hard stuff, right? Everybody says, oh, this is the hard stuff. This is the technical stuff. This is the detail stuff. This is the hard stuff. Yeah, yeah, right? To the softer side of things, which are the people component. Well, let me show you what happens as a leader and what's expected of leaders. As you move up the leadership hierarchy, you have to let go of the tasks and pick up the people skills. Let go of the technical skills and pick up the people skills. Let go of the hard skills and pick up more of the soft skills for you to be successful as a leader. And there's a phrase, Marshall Goldsmith wrote a book, and the title is a wonderful title, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And specifically about what it takes to lead at the next level, how you have to drop some things that worked for you and how you have to pick up other things. Well, we like to say what got you here won't get you there, and what got you here won't keep you here. Because just because you got moved into a leadership position with this organization, if you're not performing the way they want you to perform, if you're not meeting their expectations, well, you're not going to be here long. Because it's dire for them. It's pivotal for them to be able to have the right kind of people in those leadership roles. So just a very quick slide that makes this point. As you move up the chain or up the ladder within organizations, you can see how it moves from the task all the way over to the people skills. A manager is someone who's about in the middle. They still have tasks that they need to perform, but they also have to have people skills to be able to get people to perform the tasks that are required by the organization. That's what an organization is. It's a group of people who come together for common purpose, common mission, common fate, right? So we just wanted to make this clear because if you don't have people skills today, or those are something that you need to develop, now's the time to develop them. And we're going to go into how to start to think about those, how to develop those throughout this whole program because it's so integral to being a leader. Now, your pivot point. So I want you to think for a minute about when you got this program, you signed up for this program, you entered this, you're watching this video, there was something that triggered you that said, you know what, this program's right for me. You either saw something in an advertisement or in an email, or perhaps somebody came to you and said, hey, look, you're at a place now where you really need to go through this program. You're going to learn so much. You're going to come out the other end like literally a different person in many, many ways. You're going to just learn. You're going to grow, but you're going to be able to perform at a higher level. What was that pivot point for you? So think about it. Did it have something to do with your career? In other words, you may have felt stuck where you are, or you aspired to a leadership position. That's what attracted you here. Or are you at some transition point, perhaps moving from a manager kind of level to a leader level, saying, well, what's expected of me there? Perhaps already at a leader level, but moving into higher levels of leadership, where again, the expectations keep changing. Is that a place where you're at? Or are you facing some business issue right now that you're saying, like, geez, what do I do? Just what do I do? How do I figure this out? Who do I get to help me? Well, pivotal leadership is for you. So, what we want you to do right now is to pick an area of focus. Whatever it was that triggered you to come here is a great place to start. Again, you might be thinking about all these other things you want to do. Please resist that for now. You will be able to get there. Come up with one area of focus that you can go through very mechanically as we go through this program, because that's how you learn. And then you can pick up the pace as you go through this over and over and over again at any future time. So, what's really in it for you? Well, that's something that you're going to have to decide. When you look at this, you need to say, so what do I really want to get out of this program? What do I want to have at the end of it? And we're going to take you through an exercise at the end of this module. It's coming up very quickly that'll help you identify that. But before we do, we want to talk about what's in it from you. Everybody's heard of what's in it for you. Not many people heard of what's in it from you. Here's what you're going to have to do to be successful. And the way I'd like to share this with you is we have a coaching practice and a number of coaches, and we go into organizations and we work with clusters of emerging leaders. And we're in one organization where we're working with 30 who are going to be running this large company one day. And one of the regional CEOs called me. I had only had one conversation with him earlier about somebody I was coaching, but he picked up the phone and he called and he said, you know, I've checked you guys out. He said, you want to know what I found? I said, yeah, please tell me. I'd love to hear what you found. He said, well, some of the people going through this program, they're treating it like education. So yeah, they're getting something out of it. Yeah, everybody gets something out of it, but it's kind of like a nice to do, and they picked up a distinction here, a distinction there, nice to do. Then there's a big chunk of people in the middle that actually work with the coach, take some of the alternatives, the processes, techniques, procedures, and they apply them. And they get good results. They start to make it their own. But there's a very few other people that are literally transformed by this program. And he said, I got to tell you something. I got two people I want you personally to coach. And anything less than transformational is unacceptable. And I said to him, well, you know, it takes two to dance, right? I mean, I could bring my A game to the table, but if it's a reluctant party on the other end, they don't do their part, they're going to fall into one of the lower levels. And he said to me, well, don't worry about that, because I'm going to have a conversation with the people you're going to be working with before you start working with them. They clearly set my expectations for what I want to see at the end of this. And I said, terrific. So based on all of that, we put together the following continuum. So let's take a look at this here and what it's going to take to get there. The first thing is, as you're working through this program, we need 15 minutes a day, a commitment. 5 days a week, 15 minutes minimum per day. 15 minutes. Love to get that commitment from you. Some of you will look at this and say, when you first start this, you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to give this an hour a day. Okay. That may be aspirational, but what we want is 15 minutes, a firm 15 minutes. If you go longer, fine. That's great. But a minimum of 15 minutes a day, however you decide to do that. Next, what we want to do is as you're walking through this program, we want to be sure that each one of the modules gives you a chance to be able to go deeper, that you're really pulling something valuable out of those modules. So as you're going through this program, if you have any questions, you know that there's a place on our website as you're seeing this where you could click and start sending questions to us. We'll be answering those as we get to them. And we're going to be clustering some questions together under general topics. So it's going to be interactive to that degree. So please don't think that you're out there alone. But again, 15 minutes a day is what we're looking for. And if you do, that's going to lead to ultimate success, the success that you want to achieve. Each of you will have a different success point at the end. It's up to what you want to achieve. Now, let's talk about the return on your investment, because there was an investment made in this program. We got paid for this from somebody. We either got it from you directly, or you purchased this program, you turned it into your company on expense, part of your development, or your company has licensed this program and has said, okay, we want to put all of our leaders, give them all the opportunity, the emerging leaders, to go through this program, or existing leaders. We think that this has got enough value to be able to do that. Okay? So there was an investment made. How do you get a return on that investment? Well, this is the story about Jim. This is the conversation that he had with me. And he said, look, you could see it. There are 5 steps to this program. As you move up the steps, the return on your investment gets greater and greater and greater. Step 1, you could sit and you could watch the videos and you will get something out of it. That's our guarantee. But step 2 is where you not only watch the videos, but you answer some of the questions that we have at the back end. Step number 3 is you do all of those, but you actually start to work through some of the suggestions that we're going to make, and you make it part of your day to day. Step number 4 is you start to act to implement these plans. And step number 5 at the highest level is now not only do you learn what's going on here, not only are you applying it, but you're also teaching it to other people. So as you can see, at the lower level, it's all about education. In the middle level, think about the bell curve, that's about application. And at the highest level, it's transformation. Our standards for transformation are very high, but we believe that if you signed up for this program, then you have what's in you that's needed to transform, to turn you into one of the best leaders your organization can have. And we're dedicated to giving you the tools, the techniques, the processes that will allow you to get there. Now, what we want to do is, as you're going through this program, it's going to be very, very important for you to take some time in what we call reflective thinking, the new leadership competency. How many of you take time right now to reflect on what's going on, to do that zoom out view, to be able to look at not only what's going on in your organization, how you're performing, how others are performing, but to look down the road? The answer is probably not much. Well, as you go through this program, we would highly encourage you to use either the workbook that comes with the program, to get a journal, or to take the notes either right here online. This is all dedicated space to you. You could take those, you could print those out, you could come back and change those at any time, but somehow get it out of your head and get it onto some media. I was coaching a guy the other day. He says, Myron, what I really need to do is I need to think on paper. Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly what we want you to do. Paper being one media, any media for you. If you're more technical, use a technical media. We don't care. But apply what you're learning. Think about what you're learning. Reflect on what you're learning and how to be able to use this to your advantage and to the advantage of your organization. And so what we want to do now is to bring this segment to an end. And there's an exercise that we have, a culminating exercise. You're going to find this at the end of each one of our major steps. Here's the exercise for today. Would like you to get your initial thoughts on what do you want to have at the end of this program? Have. Most people will come up with 3 to 5 things that they want to have at the end of the program. Some people only come up with one. Some people come up with a list that's exhaustive. We don't care. But take the time to write down what you want to have at the end of the program. When you get done with that, step number 2 is to say, okay, so if that's what I want to have, then what are the things I need to do in order to have those? Do I need to absolutely dedicate myself and commit myself to giving that minimum of 15 minutes a day on this program? What else do I have to do? Do I have to carry it back to the workplace? What do I have to do? Do. Think about doing now in order to have what you wanted. The next question will be at the end of this program, when you get done with it, who do you want to be? What does that look like to you? To be among the best leaders in your organization, what would you have to see, hear, or experience to tell you you were one of them? But what would you be describing? What kind of leader would you be at that point? Here's the last question. Why is being this kind of a leader personally important to you? This is a crucial question. We're going to ask this often throughout the program. Why is this important to you? Why is this important to you? Why is this important to you? Because we need to know your reasons and you need to know your reasons, because at some point things are going to get tough and you're going to want to back away from the line. That's when you need to remind yourself, why are you doing this? Right? Why was it personally important to you? That wraps up the orientation. And please join us on step one, because that's the prepare step. We're going to get you ready for the rest of this journey. This is Myron Radio, over and